Welcome to MCPconnects. Today we take a trip to Oakland, California to talk with the T sisters. Rachel, Chloe, and Erika tell us a little about what they've learned through isolation, and they bring some harmony into the world with a breathtaking song dedicated to the rock stars and hospitals around the country.
Come back down.
Joining us from Oakland, California, we have Rachel, Chloe, and Erika. Thank you guys so much for joining us. How are you?
Hey, Levi. We're doing great. Thanks so much for having us. How are you doing?
We're doing well. You know, all things considered, we're doing well. And this has been, like we were talking about a little bit before we started, it's been fun in a lot of ways, right? Doing things that we wouldn't have otherwise done, but finding a lot of joy and connection in it.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we're feeling the same way. We're trying to focus on the silver linings of a strange situation. And as touring musicians, it's been really great to be home for a while and nest and cook and do fun projects at home, and also work on a lot of music and creative stuff that sometimes we don't have time for when we're out on the road.
That makes complete sense. So have you found that there's How's it been? I mean, has that been helpful for your creativity and just taking a different approach to music since you've had a different approach to life?
Yeah, I think we've had so much more time to work on new material, and we've been able to bring in some of our other creative skills, like doing some more theatrical performances, and yeah, just having the time and the space where you're not preparing for a gig and doing advancing and things like that. You can just kind of work on new creative stuff, and so we've really been having fun with that. Yeah, and the live, we've been doing a lot of live streaming, so there's definitely some pressure to be always creating new content for that, whereas when we're touring, we're sometimes playing a similar set every single night. But during the lockdown, we've been really had a lot of pressure on us to create new content, so it's been a nice challenge for us.
That's actually really cool. I mean, I think probably as a creative, it's helping you or inspiring you, right, to flex those creative muscles and do it more. For you, do you find that creativity is an inspiration, or is it something that you sit down and do intentionally? And if so, how has this impacted that?
I think that for us, we create, it helps us to have specific goals or paradigms for creation. And usually that's, you know, writing songs. You sit down, you work on a song, maybe it comes to you, maybe it doesn't. But right now, because we've been working on this semi-monthly variety hour of sorts, we have this formula every other week to fill out. We have like a story to create, and we have to find the songs that work with it. Rachel's got to make the props and the sets to work within that. So that's a really good kind of structure for each of us to do the things creatively that we feel inspired by, instead of just being like, okay, I'm gonna go try to write a song now, or I'm gonna go sit on the bus and read, or just it's nice to have something specific that we can then, you know, add our little individual juices to.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of a combination of having space to be creative, having that time and that space, but also creating deadlines for yourself and kind of creating a structure where you're continually putting out new things that you've been working on. So I think we're figuring out that balance and creating that time for new things and creative projects.
That actually, I'm sure that's probably, speaking creatively, good to have specific deadlines, right? You got to come up with something for this week or next week. Whereas as a creative, it's so easy to critique it and take another approach, and it's not quite ready and it's not quite right. But if you have to get it out, then it helps you to finalize it and put it out into the world.
Definitely. Yeah, so, I can understand. I think a lot of people who are in a creative field right now feel like there's some pressure to feel creative and to be writing new stuff. And that's not necessarily going to be true for everyone. And I know for us, a lot of it is really just executing these performances and creating new material. So it helps to just get yourself out there and put yourself in front of the screen. And so that's been working well for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm sure a lot of the creative content that's going to come out of this is going to come weeks or months or even years from now, as people have the chance to process and figure out, you know, what this all meant to them. Out of curiosity, what's something positive that you will take out of this experience that you were kind of forced to discover because of it?
I think on a practical level, something really positive we found is that we can be dynamic, creative musicians without traveling. And we don't know what the world will look like moving forward. This may not be an isolated short period of time in human history, which we all can feel all the things about. But the reality is that because we have this amazing technology at our disposal, it doesn't stop us from connecting with people. We can still create and share with people and do really cool and interesting things, and actually share with a lot more people. Yeah. We can't be everywhere all the time, right? So in a way, when you're touring, you're limited to just the specific places that you're traveling to. But when you're creating content online and putting all your focus into having it be online and reach as many people as possible, you end up tapping into people just all over the place and new people who might not have found you before. I think that's a really positive kind of practical takeaway for us.
Yeah.
Being forced to evolve as musicians and as professional musicians who do this for our living, we're being forced to evolve into whatever we need to be for moving forward.
And have you found one interesting thing that we've seen is while we're all in isolation, right? We're all in our own spaces. We've had a number of artists say, you know, in a weird way, I'm actually connecting on a deeper level with people now, on more of a one-on-one conversational level than I did when I was on tour, because, you know, it was one to many. And now as I connect with people online, we're actually engaging in conversations and I'm learning more about them. Have you found that to be the case with your experience?
I think so, yeah. And we started a Patreon page, so people are supporting us, and we're having a lot more one-on-one interactions with people who want to be involved in our process and, you know, giving us ideas for songs. And we have a lot more time to explore that and to really have that back and forth with people. So it's really special for us, and I think for them as well. So that's been great.
I love it. Okay, so hard question, because there's 3 of you and we got to see if we can get one word. But one thing we've been asking artists is there, your life is so music centric. You tour, you play, it's how you express yourself, it's how you feed yourself, it's all of those things. But through all of that experience, what does music mean to you in one word? Can you find one word that encapsulates the power of music for you?
Okay, I think we got it. Should we say it together? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Harmony!
Oh, yes! That was amazing. Well done. Speaking of harmony, I imagine that you have a song picked out that you would like to perform for the kids and for the hospitals, and something tells me there's going to be a fair amount of harmony involved. Do you have a specific song, and do you have specific kids and hospitals you'd like to dedicate it to?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the song is called How Can I Keep From Singing? And it's a traditional song whose lyrics were updated by Pete Seeger. And we want to shout it out to some kids. We've got Lilly in Arizona, Jessica in Kansas, and Camden in Michigan. And we also wanted to shout this out to all of the amazing healthcare workers out there and hospitals who are just kicking butt, just, you know, taking the challenge of this overwhelming situation and keeping us all safe. So we want to thank University Medical Center in New Orleans, Health First, Brevard Hospital System in Florida, Piedmont Mountainside Hospital in Jasper, Georgia.
And our very own Oakland Benioff Children's Hospital in Oakland.
So this is for all y'all. We're sending lots of love.
My life flows on in endless song of lovers' lamentations. I hear a real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear that music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest loudly roar, I hear the truth in heaven. What though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. When love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble sick with fear and hear their death knell ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? In prison cell or dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
That was stunning, incredible. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's our pleasure.
thanks.
It's our pleasure. We're sending lots of love out to all these folks that we just shouted out, and we wish that we could be there in person to bring you song. But this is the next best thing.
Absolutely. Are there any final thoughts you would like to leave with the world and the folks that are watching?
Well, I think that, you know, it's, at least for us, I think it's been a really great time to find some calm and slow down a little bit. And we just hope that everybody is having a chance to just take some deep breaths and enjoy things a little at a slower pace than normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Mother Earth is getting a little break right now from the perpetual congestion and toxic waste of us humans. She's getting a little break, so we can appreciate that. We can appreciate a little change in the human dynamic, and hopefully people in their different spaces are getting to feel some of the positives, even though this is a challenging time.
We hope people are still continuing to connect virtually and however you can, and keep supporting your neighbors and your family and friends, and we're all in this together.
Thank you all so much for joining us. If you or someone you know is battling illness and needs support, you are not alone. Sign up today at melodiccaring.org. And a huge thank you to all our first responders and healthcare providers working so hard during this COVID-19 crisis. We appreciate you. I'm Levi Ware. This is the Melodic Caring Project.